Picture this. The mighty Roman Empire has collapsed. Roads crumble, libraries decay, and Europe is plunged into absolute darkness? Or at least, that's what many believe. But hold on, was it really all doom and gloom? Or was something else happening behind the scenes? Today, let's talk about the Dark Ages and uncover the truth behind this misunderstood era. The Dark Ages is a term used to describe Europe from around 500 to 1500 AD, so between the 5th and the 15th century. Think of it as history's awkward teenage years. Messy, misunderstood, but full of potential. After Rome's fall, Europe didn't exactly hit the snooze button for a few centuries. But things definitely changed. Trade routes shrank, cities got smaller, and centralized power took a hit. But despite the rough time, the world kept spinning. The Dark Ages designate the period between the fall of Roman Empire and the Italian Renaissance. The term Dark Ages was first coined by Italian scholar Francesco Petrarch to describe the lack of quality in Latin literatures. The period is also known as the Middle Ages or the medieval era. It's often characterized as a time of intellectual, economic, and cultural decline, dominance of the Catholic Church, and widespread superstitions. For example, many believe that in a party of 13 people, the first one to get up will be dead within a year. Talk about hitting on number 13, huh? Feudalism, which is a political system based on reciprocal relationship between lords who own the land and vassals who protect those lands, replaced the centralized government. Other Renaissance scholars expanded Petrarch's designation to include the lack of quality in culture. Basically, they looked back at medieval Europe and said, "Wow, that's rough." But were they being a little dramatic? Kinda. It wasn't a blackout. It was more like a dimly lit room where progress still flickered. Now, here's where things get interesting. While some parts of Europe were in survival mode, others were thriving. Monasteries became knowledge powerhouses, preserving and copying ancient texts. Baghdad became the world's center of scholarship. Islamic scholars translated great literature such as Greek philosopher Plato into Arabic. They also translated Buddhist and Hindu manuscripts into Arabic. Manuscript, mind you, that could have been lost throughout the years. The Islamic World Golden Age was lighting up the world with groundbreaking advances in science, medicine, arts, and philosophy. For example, Ibn Sina wrote the Canon of Medicine, which became the standard medical textbook used for centuries in both Europe and Middle East. It was a good time for China too. During this time, it produced more iron, its porcelains loved worldwide, and after running out of metal for coins due to amazing trades, China introduced the first paper money system that is now used worldwide. The medieval era was not all dark after all. Oh, and let's not forget the Vikings. Sure, they had a reputation for raiding, but they were also skilled traders and explorers, connecting distant corners of the world. And speaking of progress, did you know the so-called Dark Ages gave us some of game-changing innovations? Farmers adopted the three-field system, which meant better food production. Architects were busy constructing jaw-dropping Gothic cathedrals. And if you think education took a vacation, think again. Oxford and Bologna, some of the world's oldest universities, were founded during that time. So, instead of thinking of the Dark Ages as void of progress, think of it as a bridge, one that connected the classical world to the Renaissance. It was a time of transformation, adaptation, and yes, even some epic storytelling. Shout out to Beowulf. Were the Dark Ages really dark? Short answer, Not entirely. Sure, there were tough times. However, there was also resilience, creativity, and the foundation of the world we know today. History is never as simple as it seems, and that's why it's always worth talking about. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more fascinating content. Let me know in the comment what another period of history or fact you'd like to learn more about. See you next time.